11 days. That's how long your paycheck actually lasts. Not 30 days, not until the next deposit, 11 days, and then you're playing defense, shuffling money between accounts, timing purchases around pending transactions, doing mental math in the grocery store checkout line, pretending to check texts while actually checking your balance. And the worst part isn't being broke. The worst part is not knowing how it happened. Again, because you didn't do anything wrong, you didn't buy anything extravagant, you just existed. You just paid for a life that somehow costs more than a life should cost. Everyone tells you to budget better, track your spending, cut the lattes, and you want to scream because you haven't bought a latte in 6 months and you're still here, still watching money evaporate like it has somewhere else to be. This is Financial Triage, and I'm about to show you why the math never works and what actually fixes it. 58% of American workers run out of money before their next paycheck. That's not a guess. That's salary finance research from 2023. Nearly 6 in 10 people earning regular income still hit zero before the next deposit lands. And this happens to people earning $40,000, $60,000, $80,000, even over $100,000 a year. The median American household earns approximately $74,000 annually, according to Census Bureau 2023 data. That's roughly $6,200 monthly before taxes. After federal and state taxes and FICA, that drops to approximately $4,800 take home. Now watch what happens to that money. Average rent or mortgage payment $1,750. That's 36% gone in one transaction. Average car payment, including insurance, $650, another 14%. Utilities, including electric, gas, water, internet, phone, $350. Healthcare premiums and out-of-pocket costs, $400. Groceries for a family averaging $700 monthly per Bureau of Labor Statistics. Minimum debt payments on average American household debt combining credit cards and student loans, another $350. Add those up, $4,200. That's 87% of take-home pay consumed by fixed obligations, before you buy a single coffee or fill your gas tank or pay for your child's school supplies or do anything that feels like living. That remaining $600 has to cover gas at roughly $150 monthly, clothing and personal care at $100, household supplies at $80, and literally everything else including any emergency that arises. This is why the money vanishes. Not because you're irresponsible, but because the math is designed to leave nothing behind. But here's what should make you furious. It didn't used to be this way. In 1970, the median home price was approximately $24,000, while median household income was approximately $10,000. That's a ratio of 2.4, meaning a home cost about 2.5 years of income. Today, median home price is over $400,000, while median income is $74,000. A ratio of 5.4, housing alone now consumes more than double the relative income it did 50 years ago. Same pattern with cars. In 1980, the average new car cost $7,000 against median income of $21,000, a ratio of 0.33. Today, average new car costs over $48,000 against income of $74,000, a ratio of 0.65. Cars now consume double the relative income. Healthcare followed the same trajectory. In 1970, the average family spent about 4% of income on healthcare. Today, it's over 12% according to Kaiser Family Foundation data. Education completed the pattern. In 1980, average annual public university tuition was around $1,000. Today, it's over $11,000, a 1,000% increase against wages that roughly tripled. Housing, transportation, healthcare, education. The 4 pillars of modern life have all inflated 3 to 10 times faster than wages. Your parents weren't more disciplined. Your grandparents weren't smarter with money. They were playing an entirely different game where the math actually worked. You inherited broken arithmetic, and everyone acts like it's a character flaw. So what actually fixes this, because anger doesn't pay rent? First move is painful but necessary. You track everything for 30 days manually, not with an app that auto-categorizes and hides the reality, but with your own eyes on every transaction. Most people underestimate their spending by 30 to 40% according to behavioral economics. Research, you cannot solve what you refuse to see. Second move targets what I call silent killers, subscriptions you forgot, memberships you never use, services bleeding money monthly while you sleep, C plus R research shows the average American has 12 subscriptions and has forgotten about 3 of them. That's $200+ annually disappearing through pure forgetting. Cancel anything you haven't actively used in 30 days. Resubscribing takes 30 seconds if you actually miss it. Third move requires honesty about housing. If rent or mortgage exceeds 30% of take-home pay, you have exactly 3 options: increase income, decrease housing cost, or accept that financial progress remains mathematically impossible until that ratio changes. When one expense consumes 40% of income, the remaining 60% cannot stretch far enough. Some people need roommates, need smaller spaces, need different zip codes, hard choices, but real ones. Fourth move changes how money flows. On payday, you separate immediately. Fixed bills go to a dedicated account. Savings target goes to another account. What remains is actual spending money. This works because human psychology lies about available balances. Seeing $2,000 feels like having $2,000 even when $1,700 is already committed. Separation forces truth. Fifth move builds what I call the buffer, 1 month of expenses sitting beyond current needs. When this buffer exists, you've broken the paycheck to paycheck cycle by definition. Building it takes 3 to 6 months of aggressive focus, but once it exists, the relief transforms everything. Sixth move reframes how you measure progress. Forget gross income. The only number that matters is the gap between what comes in and what goes out. Someone earning $50,000 with a $1,500 monthly gap builds wealth faster than someone earning $100,000 with a $300 gap. Every decision filters through one question: does this widen my gap or narrow it? Seventh move treats unexpected money as invisible. Tax refunds, bonuses, cash gifts. This money goes directly to buffer or debt. The average American spends windfalls within 14 days on purchases they can't recall a month later. Windfalls are acceleration fuel, not spending money. The system extracts wealth through accumulation of small acceptable charges, each one reasonable alone, devastating together. Housing inflated because investors discovered single-family homes as portfolio assets. Cars inflated because financing made any price seem affordable monthly. Healthcare inflated because the system optimizes for billing, not outcomes. Education inflated because loans removed price sensitivity. None of this was your decision. You arrived in an economy already distorted, already rigged to consume wages faster than they could be earned. You're not bad with money, you're doing impossible math and calling it personal failure. But surviving still falls to you. Building something still falls to you. Breaking the pattern still falls to you. Not because it's fair, but because waiting for fair is how decades disappear. The moves I outlined work. They're not exciting and they're not instant, but they work. Separation creates clarity. Attacking the biggest expense creates room. Eliminating forgotten charges stops invisible bleeding. Building buffer transforms your relationship with time. Start this week. Open a free online account in 10 minutes. Move bill money there before you can spend it. Cancel 3 subscriptions you forgot existed. Calculate your real gap and write it where you see it daily. The 11-day paycheck isn't your fault, but what happens next is your choice. If this landed differently than the usual budget advice, hit subscribe. Financial triage exists because understanding the system is how you stop being consumed by it. Next time we're breaking down the 3. Account system that kept Venetian merchant families solvent through 2 centuries of economic chaos, and exactly how you set it up this weekend with 0 fees and 1 hour of work.